Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSIDFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mega Rover 31, and we have the All-Star race, so we don't have everything set. And this weekend's just been a disaster with rain. They got like 5 inches at the track yesterday. The truck race postponed until today, and they canceled the heats for it. So everybody is locked in on qualifying results for the top 17. They will run the Open tonight around 5:30, and the top two drivers in there will advance. And then the guys in blue are the top five for fan votes that could potentially get in as the last person. So it's a unique race where they're going to be running it with different tires. They're having like almost like the rain tire. It's called the option tire. It's going to have red lettering on it instead of the traditional yellow Goodyear. It's a softer tire, it gives you better grip. So you should be able to pass better with it, but the fall off is going to be really fast on it. So the teams are going to have the choice between those tires, and the other one's kind of like F1 has choice between three tires. And we'll see how it plays out because last year you really couldn't pass because what happened was there were some cars in the back. As I think it was Stenhouse spun out. They brought a caution, and like four or five cars in the back last year pitted and got fresh tires, and then they just blew through the field, and then nobody could touch them. So, and last year, sorry, the floors is off here. Um, The difference is North Wilkesboro last year, so I'll just put NW there. So like those cars were Reddick and Larson and Bubba Wallace, and I think Briscoe was in there too. So like Suarez was leading the race and then like ended up seventh, but after that tire thing, it just made a huge difference. So but they did repave it here, so maybe fall off won't be as much. It didn't look like it was that bad in the truck race, and they're hoping that a second group kind of does up with a repave here. So I'm just going to go driver by driver and use Martinsville as a perspective as I did for the truck race because that was the closest race. So Joey Logano on the pole. And the other thing you have to look at here too is that there's only 20 cars in the race. So you don't usually like to take, so place differential, the most you're going to have is like 19, which is good if you think that whoever the fan favorite that's going to get in is going to win the race, or some of the guys in the open could actually get up there and win the race or have some place to natural. It's possible, but I don't know if necessarily know if this is a stack the back one. You might want to go on finishing position. So let me just pull up the bonuses. So for 20, if you finish 20th, you get 23 points. So um, the person that starts first has a floor here because I mean, if you really look at the finishing position, like first 44, 45 points, 42 points, 41 points, like there's a lot of points up here. And they're not changing, DK's not changing the scale. So it's going to be 23 points for the car that finishes dead last year. So place differential, you lose 19. Joey Logano is at least going to get 4 points. He's not going to get a negative. It's not going to kill you. So this might be an approach. I might do two. I might play some place differential, and I might play some just in front with finishing position. Like maybe I'll pick who I think is going to win the race, and then some of the guys that are starting closer to the front. Because unless you get on some weird like tire strategy or something, like with only 20 cars there, it's going to be you really want finishing position, I think, over trying to get place differential because I think finishing position here could trump place differential because there's not that many place differential points up for grabs. And again, it could be hard to pass. So Joel, like I said, has a floor of 4 here. And I think you want dominator points. So if he's going to be out there early, they're probably going to, with the rain and stuff, maybe have a competition caution, which could screw things up. But Keselowski's up here too, and I really like Keselowski. And I did say I called the Ford win. I thought it was coming soon. It wasn't controversial, like other than like the two wrecking themselves, but the NASCAR did nothing to make it so Brad Keselowski could win. They've been working on like the engines and stuff a little bit to try to become more competitive within the rules, allegedly. Um, so and the Fords looked pretty decent here in qualifying, although all the Stewart Haas ones end up in the open. So I think Kozlowski is a strong play here too if he can get out ahead of Logano and lead early as an early dominator. So those two, I think I really like as early dominators. Bell, if we just keep on considering him falling back, like 35th at Martinsville, 12th at North Wilkesboro, and rest is his composite average is sixth in all drivers, but I don't know. Suarez looked strong here last year, had fourth here in qualifying, so I think he's definitely going to play. Chris Busher is the one that I'm going to bet to win this, just only because of finishing second last week and the week before. He's been in great form. And I think that it's just going to be kind of like ironic that he's going to win a race and this is going to be the race and it's not going to count towards a championship. I don't believe this counts towards a championship as a race because it's kind of an exhibition. So I think that, if it's just going to be like open up that wound even more that like he had an opportunity to win two races in a row and then he actually wins a race, which we'll be happy about, but the race doesn't count towards anything. So I just funny things happen like that. And so I will be betting Busher to win the race just for that reason. Um, and I don't think he's a bad DFS play. He didn't make that field last year, but 15th in Martinville, 15th overall. I think he's been driving that here. And I think that he's kind of driven for because of what happened. And I don't think he's going to become a dirtier driver. I saw that like out there on like Twitter and YouTube. Tyler Reddick, like they're starting next to each other, but I don't think there's bad blood. I don't think they're going to try to like each other unless Reddick doesn't have something else to Busher. But I think he's going to give him a little bit more space here after last week because Reddick's not a dirty driver that like doesn't really care. Chastain's always in play here, but Trackhouse just has a ton of speed. Like they've been okay. Truex looks good overall if you look at the numbers for these types of tracks, but uh, like Martinsville and last year didn't look great. McDowell and Allmendinger didn't make it last year. Their averages are somewhere in the 20s. So I think that they're going to fall backwards. I don't think they're going to be great. Hamlin has a good composite average and he's had a great season, but last year didn't look great here. And Martinsville didn't look bad, but didn't look great either. So I don't know if I'm going to have a ton of Hamlin. I'm in the 10K range. I don't think I'm really going to go there. Larson, big question is he going to make it back? Didn't have a chance to. It's really early in the morning. I'm recording this. I get a chance to go back to see if he's going to make it from Indy. Kevin Harvick qualified the car here. Uh, they said that somebody else, maybe it was like Kaz Grala or somebody. It's a lesser driver that's probably not going to make it in the open. It's the same size. So Larson is going to drive the car in the this. So we'll have to pay attention to how it's going to get scored. If that driver jumping in for Larson is going to get scored, or they're just going to scrap it and nobody's going to get points for the five, how that's going to work out. So, but hopefully Kyle Larson will be able to make it on time for the race and from Indy qualifying and be able to race. Byron was first in Martinsville, was 20th here last year, but 10th overall. I think he's definitely has some upside to be able, and his pit crew is pretty good with strategy. So I think he's one that I definitely would keep my eye on that has some place differential and could end up being a dominator here. Kyle Busch, he won the similar format in the Clash a couple of years ago. I think it was his first race with Childress, but I don't know. I just doesn't seem to have it. Like, would it surprise me if he went out there and won it? Absolutely not, because that's just Kyle Busch thing to do is to win a race that doesn't count for something. But I think that I'll have limited exposure there. Chase Elliott, third at Martinsville, fifth last year, eighth overall. He's another one that I could consider for some place differential. 9.3 is not a bad price tag. Stenhouse has struggled on these types of races. There's 29th at Martinsville, 24th here last year, finished dead last, and 25th overall. So even though he's got some place differential, I probably won't be playing some Stenhouse. Blaney I like here too. I think he's probably the better play than Elliott. Was sixth here last year, fifth in Martinsville, fourth overall, and I think that he's got some upside. So looking at the guys in the open, let me just sort by that. Uh, Gibbs has a good chance. I think he may have raced in from last year. Bowman, Briscoe, Wallace, Grayson. I think the top five are the ones that are going to make it. Again. Like I said, if it's not the pass and stuff, I think they do still have to do like the tire thing. But I think believe one of those top five are going to be the two in. If I had to pick, I would probably go Gibbs and Wallace, just because the Toyotas have been so good this year. And last year, Bubba was second and Gibbs was ninth. That's where I'd lean. And Gregson, I would say, is going to get in on the fan vote. But maybe Lazar, he seems to be pretty popular. So the rest of these drivers, I don't think it's really even worth breaking down um, and getting in because maybe Nemechek, he's just been bad. Eric Jones potentially um, could he got in last year and was decent and is like a top 15 driver on these types of tracks. But I think you're really looking at the top five. It would be kind of surprising if maybe Barry as a dark horse, maybe Jones, and maybe Nemechek, but I don't see the other teams having the strategy, the equipment, or the driving skills to get in there. So it's pretty much what I got for you. And sorry, it's not anything exactly, but that's what I think what I'm going to preach here is I'm looking for dominators in finishing position over place differential besides like maybe Blaney and Elliott if I can get in my lineup. Larson or Byron if you have to make decisions. There, not as much Hamlin, and even though Stenhouse is the cheapest one, there's a reason for that. I just don't think. But then again, if he starts 16th and he finishes 20th, he's still going to get 23 points. He's going to lose what 4 place differential points. It's still going to be 19. So I mean that's not horrible. It's not like he's going to get you a negative. So again, that's what I got for you. If you have any questions, put in the chat below. Hit me at Megawar31 on Twitter or X if you want to get the full sheet when I get everything out there, my recommendations and plays. Then you can join FSIDFS by going to the description of the video and signing up for the package. If you sign up for the week package, I'll make sure that you get through all through like next week also for up through the Coca-Cola 600 so that you're not just paying for one race. It'll be $5. It'll get you I don't know if the trucks in Xfinity are there next week at the 600, but there should one of the two of them should be at least 3 to 4 races for you. And if these videos helps back, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you next week for Charlotte.